Hello, today we're going to continue using Desmos to find our line of best fit, to find R values, and to predict values using our line of best fit equation. However, today we're going to add on a couple more pieces to the puzzle. These are kind of the last things we're going to do with these regression, last new things we're going to add on. And that's interpreting the slope of the line of best fit equation and interpreting the y-intercept of the line of best fit equation. These interpretations, your answers are going to be sentences, which are the sentence I have right here and the sentence I have right here. Notice that there's a lot of bold words in both of these sentences. The bold words get replaced with what I have underneath here. So let's talk a little bit about these interpretations, and we'll come back to this when we actually have questions that are asking about this. Anytime we are interpreting the slope or finding the meaning of the slope of the line of best fit equation, our basic framework is the sentence that's got the blue arrow pointing at it. As x increases by 1 unit, y increases or decreases, depending, by m units. X is just whatever x is measuring, so height, time, etc., etc. Unit, that first unit is whatever the units are for x. So like if it's height, maybe it's inches. Y is whatever variable y is measuring, so maybe it's weight or grades or something like that. Increases or decreases, if your slope is positive, we're going to say increases. If your slope is negative, we're going to say decreases. By m, which is your slope number, the m that Desmos gives you. And then the second units there is the units that y is being measured in. So like, for instance, if y is weight, then maybe your units are pounds. So we follow that basic framework and replace the bold words with whatever makes sense with our problem. If you're asked to interpret or talk about the meaning of the y-intercept of the line of best fit equation, you're going to use the sentence that's being pointed at with the orange arrow. That says when x equals 0 units, y equals b units. Remember, when you're thinking about y-intercept, that means where your graph is crossing the y-axis, so x is automatically 0. Again, x and y are just referring to what x and y are measuring in the problem. The first units is whatever units x is being measured in. The second units is whatever y is being measured in. And then b is the b number that Desmos gives you, the y-intercept. Let's go ahead and try this example problem. So we are going to start it the exact same way. In this example problem, we have the relationship between height, which is being measured in inches, and weight, which is being measured in pounds. As always, we're going to start by entering our table into Desmos. So hit the plus sign, hit table, and start typing those numbers in. All right, double check real quick. Make sure you've got all of the right values, no typos, nothing like that. All right, once we have our equation, we know the next thing we need to do in order to find R, M, and B is to type in that regression y1 tilde mx1 plus b. If you would like, you can adjust your window really quickly so you can see all of your points and the line of best fit on the graph. I like to do that just so I get a better feel for things. Desmos gives us R, M, and B like we're used to. Part A here says use Desmos to find the line of best fit equation. So that's going to be y equals mx plus b, but we fill in m and b from Desmos. So our answer for this is going to look like y equals m. I'm going to round that to 2 decimal places. So negative 4.72x. B, I'm going to round to 2 decimal places as well. So plus 495.48. Just like we've done before, that's not new. Next thing we're asked to find is the R value. Just find R and completely just copy it down. R equals negative 0.6586. Classify the correlation. We've done that before. That's strong, moderate, or weak, positive, negative, none. We've mostly had strong, positive, or negative. This one actually, since it's not quite as close to 1 or negative 1 as we're used to, falls in that moderate category. So if you look back at your notes about classifying R values, you can see that that's in the moderate category, and it's going to be a moderate negative because our R is a negative number. So this has a moderate negative correlation. Next up, we're asked to interpret the slope of the line of best fit equation. So let's look back at that. We are filling in the appropriate things that we have in the equation that's written in blue there. So we start off with the word as. As. What is x measuring? In this problem, x is measuring height. So height, back to our framework, increases by 1, always stays the same. And then we talk about what is our x unit. Our x unit, x's height is being measured in inches. So as height increases by 1 inch, what's the next thing we say? Y increases or decreases. So in this problem, Y is measuring weight in pounds. So we're going to say, instead of Y, weight. Now we look at our slope. Our slope is negative 4.72. So since that's a negative slope, we're going to say decreases by our slope number, which was negative 4.72. And then what's our unit for weight? Our weight is being measured in pounds in this problem. We abbreviate that 4.72 pounds like that. So when we're asked to interpret the slope, we're writing this sentence. The parts that are in blue stay the same every time. The parts that are in other colors are what we customized based off of this particular problem. Letter E is asking us now to interpret the y-intercept. So we're looking at that orange arrow sentence. When x equals 0 units, y equals b units. So let's go ahead and start playing with that. When x, just like in the last problem, is measuring height, equals 0. Our units for height is inches. And then what do we say next? Y equals b units. So y in this problem is measuring weight. My b number in this problem is 495.48. And weight is being measured in pounds, which I'm again going to abbreviate. So this sentence right here, when height equals 0 inches, weight equals 495.48 pounds, talks about what that y-intercept means in this problem. As you're looking at that sentence, you probably think, wait a second, a person who weighs 0 inches weighs almost 500 pounds. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Sometimes that happens. It just helps the equation and the graph work nicely, but sometimes the y-intercept ends up being a really weird number. We don't really ever have people that are 0 inches, and we very rarely have people that would be 500 pounds, especially if they were super, 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 super short. All right, so those are the new things we've added on today, those sentences. Again, we just followed the frameworks that I have up here. Next up, letter F wants us to predict the weight of a person who is 6 feet, which is the same as 72 inches tall. To do that, we are going to use our equation, the line of best fit equation. Since they told us that the height is 72 inches tall, we're going to sub x equals 72 into that equation. So that's going to look like y equals negative 4.72 in parentheses 72 instead of x plus 495.48. From here, I can type everything after the equal sign into Desmos, which I'm going to do because Desmos can make my life nice and easy. And when I do that, I get 155.64. And what is our unit here? They're asking us to find the weight. Weight is being measured in pounds. So 155.64 pounds for a person who is 72 inches tall, according to this equation. Last one, they want us to predict the height of a person who weighs 140 pounds. This is pounds. Pounds is y. And so we are going to substitute y equals 140 into our equation. So it's going to go right here instead. So 140 equals the rest of my original equation. And then we need to solve this, but we can use Desmos to help us with the actual adding, subtracting, etc. So to solve this, I'm going to start by subtracting 495.48 from both sides. Like I said, feel free to use Desmos to help you with the calculations. We get negative 355.48 when we do that. And then last but not least, we need to divide to get x by itself. And we can have Desmos help us with that division as well. We get x equals 75.31. What is x measuring? X is measuring the height. Height in this problem is being measured in inches. So if a person weighs 140 pounds, based off of this equation, we expect them to be 75.31 inches tall, which is about 6'3", if you think about things in terms of feet and inches. That is it for today. So again, all of this is things we've done before, except for these sentences. When you're writing your slope and your y-intercept sentences, use your cheat sheet and fill in the appropriate things for x, y, units, m, and b, according to whatever happens in the equation that Desmos gives you. Have a wonderful day.